Hey everyone, it is day 34, and I'm super happy actually because I was really impressed with yesterday's discussion post. And some of you not only posted something thoughtful, you actually told a story, which is the best kind of connection to any story you hear, is telling your own. So I'm in a good mood, so let's keep it up. Hey, day 34 of e-learning. This quote comes from a British poet and Rasta artist named Benjamin Zephaniah, and he says rap comes from the oral tradition. The oral tradition gives voice to those who would have otherwise been voiceless. So we've been talking about all year about using your voice, so it's really appropriate we're ending with oral tradition of storytelling because this is where your chance is to use your voice. All right, the agenda for the week continues today. Is more storytelling stuff today, and then we're really trying to keep it light so that you have catch-up work time. Keep those coming. Um, I will say that just so we know, the catch-up work, I'm going to go back here, for the cultural meal presentation, I apologize. I had it wrong. I thought that the due date was Friday, and that was my misunderstanding. Miss Godlinski was very clear that this Friday was the due date. This is on me. So I'll take responsibility for yesterday, and I apologize to harping on all of you about that, getting that in. And I showed you that number that only 14 people turned it in. That's because I was misinterpreting the date. That's on me. So I apologize. All right, now, the purposes of the oral tradition. I want to get into this. This is the importance of why we're studying this. The oral tradition is as old as there has been communication. So as long as humans been communicating, we've been telling stories. And here's why we do it. It allows us to explain stuff that seems unexplainable. Imagine if you are an ancient Greek citizen and the weather changes. You want to have an explanation for it, and so you would tell a story about what does that mean, and then it might be written down, but it's really about getting the story first. You might do the same thing in 2020 when you have a really bad day and you're like, this has to have meaning. There's got to be a reason why this is so hard. That's about explaining the unexplainable. It also marks the moment in a history. Think about this, is that we are individuals with individual experiences, and the storytelling tradition passed down means that it allows us to sort of record what happened. I can tell you about what happened yesterday, and that's a part of my history. Some are small moments and some are big moments, but they all add up to who we are today. We are a sum of all those moments. Thirdly, it also builds a collective story of society. So if you think about like if big and small moments create us as individuals, then big and small moments create us as a culture and a society and a people. And so we share all those singular experiences like COVID-19. We're all experiencing it, but we would all tell a story a little differently about it. And that's important that that comes together. All right, so some famous examples. Friday the 13th, some of you think it's unlucky. That came down from storytelling. Happy birthday, whenever we sing it, that's an oral tradition. Whenever someone sneezes, right, and you say bless you, that's an oral tradition of sort of warding off evil spirits. Ghost stories by the campfire. There's actually, this is interesting, FDR is Franklin Delano Roosevelt, one of our presidents in the 30s. And he used to have fireside chats. So he'd go on the radio and he'd try to soothe a really worried America that was coming out of the Depression and going into World War II. So those fireside chats were his way of helping us feel better. And I actually linked it here if you want to click on it. It's kind of cool. All the original broadcasts. Bigfoot, El Dorado, The Lost City of Gold, Greek myths, rap music, the I Have a Dream speech. All this stuff is oral tradition. And then anytime that my daughters hurt something, I say in my home, let's cut it off. And I've never written that down. It's just part of my family's oral tradition. And just so you know that the oral tradition is different for different people on same subjects, right? That's that different perspective. So if you think about how do we somehow explain the origin of humans? Well, here's the indigenous Aborigine people of Australia. So those are like the natives of Australia before the colonizers of the British Isles came. They have a story about how humans came about, and that's this story. I welcome you to read it. Same concept. So humans and the Mayans of Central America have a different version of how humans came about. Again, it was told first and then written down later. And the Cherokee of the American Southeast. So if you're thinking about this is, kind of Appalachia-ish. These were the colony, Native Americans, the ones that were dealing with the original colonies. These guys have their own version of creation, and it's all because they told the story down from generation to generation. All right, so I have two more moth stories for you today. One is a cathartic story, and this is, again, the cathartic story is about releasing emotion. This is about a woman who has struggled, and this is a tough one to watch because she's very emotional. It's a very, very good story, but it's very powerful, and she lets you in on her experiences. And then we also have another cathartic story, but a very different kind of cathartic story. This is a cathartic story that is about a dog and the rescue of a dog. It's actually more funny, but it's still cathartic because it's not supposed to be funny, and it wasn't funny at the moment. It's just the telling of it is like that. Okay? And then I have a bonus for you today. So these stories I would like you to have a discussion response to. This is an actual bonus I'm offering a lot of you. So this is the Aztec symbol for rain, right? That would not be what I would think would look like rain, but it is. And if you know what Aztecs are, you should have known in global that Aztecs come from where we think of Mexico and Central into South America. I'm giving you a bonus today, an option. If you want, you don't have to, but I would love for you to try the oral tradition. So the directions are to tell in a video or through audio. So do not write this down. I don't want to see print. Um, Tell a short creation myth, maximum 1 minute, about how the Aztecs might have explained how rain began. Again, here's your image. This is maybe a clue, or it might sort of get you thinking. And I want you to begin with this. The story of rain began a long time ago in the Sierra Madre Mountains. Okay, that's how I want everyone to start, and then you go from there. How do you do this? You think for a moment, record yourself until you think you've told your best story. So don't just tell the story and then say that's good enough. Think about if you could tell it better, and then submit your best short clip, and I'll take a look at it. So here's what you have to do for today. 1, get your pithy article done. Get your facts ELA done. Although it's not overdue, it's still due by this Friday. My bad. It's due on this Friday. Watch at least 2 more The Moth Storytellers. They're really good ones today. And then respond to discussion question number 2 for Tuesday. And then do the bonus challenge if you want. So there you go. Plenty to do, but I think it's still enough for you to catch up. Also, I want to really remind you, you can listen to the stories while you do other things. That's what we do in the background. We clean while we listen to the moth stories in my household. So you don't have to sit there and watch the whole thing. You could actually listen to it and do something else and get that same oral tradition. All right. Good luck. Go get them, and we'll see you tomorrow.